We've got flour, we've got olive oil, we've got sugar, we've got salt, we've got yeast, and we've got a stand mixture that is way too indulgent even for me. Lukewarm water, pour it in about a cup. To that, you're gonna add a whole packet of yeast. Whoa, somebody drank too much matcha. Stand mixer. Make sure that it's plugged in, otherwise it won't work. Maybe give it a smack a little bit if you're weird like that. To that, we're gonna add a cup and a half of flour. Now we're getting somewhere. So now let's sweeten things up with a little bit of sugar, then a little bit of salt for that
seasoning,
a little bit of olive oil for that richness, and last but not least, our little water and yeast mixture that we're just going to pour in with a little tiny whisk. Now just be a lazy bum and let that mix in for a little bit. When a cohesive mass forms, we're going to take out the stand mixer and we're also going to change camera angles in 3, 2, 1. Nice. Now we're going to rub a little bit of flour onto our cutting board, rub it on our hands, and also sniff it. I'm just kidding, don't ever do this. Take out your little ball of dough that's very sticky, and then just gently apply flour as you keep kneading it. It's going to be a very, very sticky ball of dough, but as you add flour, it's going to be more cohesive and it's going to look a lot better. So we're going to lightly grease the little bowl, and now we're just going to plop our little dough ball inside of the bowl, cover it with plastic wrap, and then refrigerate for about 2 to 3 days. You heard me right. If you want the best result, you refrigerate it for 2 to 3 days. And now we're gonna change settings in 3, 2, 1. I'm in Maine right now. I don't know why, but we're just gonna roll with it. But we've let this little dough ball rest in the fridge for about 2 to 3 days now. The longer that you leave it in the fridge, the crispier your crust can get, because the more gluten it will develop. So now that we can focus on other attributes to our pizza, such as the tomato sauce. Obviously, we're just gonna use regular old store-bought tomato sauce. There is no absolute way that I have the audacity and vitality in order to make homemade tomato sauce. Okay, we're gonna start by roughly chopping half of a very yellow onion, as yellow as you can get it. Now we're gonna crush in a couple cloves of garlic, give it a rough chop for the sauce, and then we're just gonna sweat those over medium heat for about 7 to 10 minutes, just to let them become a little translucent and not raw. Now we're gonna add a whole can of fire roasted tomatoes. You can use regular tomatoes if you like. I just like fire roasted because it's a little smoky. Now we're gonna add some bay leaves. How about some dried oregano? And lastly, how about some chili flakes? Or a basil stem, whichever you prefer. It's your own sauce. So just mix that in for about 35 minutes, so that way the raw tomato smell dissipates. Alright, now we're actually gonna stretch our dough, so just make sure that you get it as thin or as thick as you like it. I am totally open for thick crust pizzas, although I just like mine a little bit thinner because it's easier to chew and it feels more satisfying with the crunch. And now we're just gonna place it onto our preheated pizza stone, stretch it out a little bit more, maybe give it a little touch because it's fun. And now we're gonna actually start layering our sauce, a thick layer, because nobody likes an undersauced pizza. And then how about some thick mozzarella, because nobody likes thin mozzarella. And then how about some jalapenos for spiciness, and some mushrooms for earthiness, and some yellow onions because goddammit I love this stuff. And then some pepperoni because it's classy. Now we're just gonna put it in a preheated 500-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 20 minutes until it looks like this. Nice. Ow. Okay, so it's not as symmetrical as what you'd see in the restaurants, okay? But I like to see you do any better. I failed geometry in 10th grade. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little segment that I have created. It was definitely a lot of fun. I like cooking and I like making videos, so combining the two just made sense. So if you guys were to subscribe, that would be very much appreciated, and I shall see you in the next video. Have a good day.